Thank you for tuning in to Cripple Talks Comics. I am the Cripple. This is where we get together and discuss comic books, storylines, characters, and all sorts of other things with my co-host Eladrius and our master of time and space, Ziptai. Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to the center of the multiverse. This is Cripple Talk Comics, here with my two illustrious co-hosts, and this week we are discussing Volume 1 of Detective Comics, Rise of the Batmen. Alright, fellas.
Batmen?
I believe it is Rise of the Batmen is the name of the volume.
What about Batwoman?
She's awesome.
Yeah, but she's not a man or a man.
I think they're talking about the army. I think they're talking about the army specifically.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the thing. The big, plot.
That ugly ass armor.
Well, you guys remember that also the whole thing of it's mankind, not humankind. So that's why it's Batman.
Look, screw your patriarchal hierarchy. It is humankind. Okay. Hashtag feminism.
You're a gay man.
You can be a feminist and still be a man.
Labels.
You're a cripple.
Yes, that's why it's called Cripple Talks Comics.
Look.
It's only called that because we couldn't think of anything better.
I thought it was a great name.
Oh yeah, but you're self-deprecating.
I don't think that's self-deprecating. I feel like it's an accurate description of the entire tone of the show.
So are you the only one?
I'm sorry, I said self-deprecating. I mean self-defecating. Sorry. That was on me. Yeah.
Really? We're already going to defecation? We're like 5 minutes in and you go to
Well, that's what I think of defecation when I think of this arc. So.
Oh. And see, folks, this is the first big time that we don't all generally agree on the quality, because I really enjoyed this story. What did you think, old Ziptie?
Old Ziptie. You're old. He labeled you again.
Okay. First off, my name's not Ziptie on this show.
But it is now.
Now, apparently, we'll go there instead of calling me my proper title.
I think we called you Ziptie last.
Yeah, we've called you Ziptie a couple times.
I have no fucking clue. I didn't pay attention.
That's why we got him a mic, guys, because he kept saying that not off.
Actually, no. Last time you're editing, so you had to look at that. I haven't even looked at. By the time we're recording this podcast, I have not actually looked at the other one yet. So, which is going to be Sam Wilson.
Yeah, which was really great.
Mm-hmm. It's actually a really, really good one. But this one, like you said, we're all kind of.
It's funny, we're all varying degrees. No, it's not like two of us are one way. We're literally the spectrum of because I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Out of the three Batman books, the three Batman centric books, this is probably the best one in Rebirth right now, to be honest.
This best thing coming out of DC Rebirth?
Not the best thing.
Okay, so
Super Sons is the best thing.
Why don't we start with the good news and we'll get to bad news. What did you like about it?
Well, one of my big things was,
besides Batman.
Well, he got knocked the fuck out.
Well, one of the things I like that I'm not a big fan of the Scott Snyder Batman, which a lot of people are a fan of, is Batman is not infallible in this. They focus on his intelligence and some of his martial arts skills, but he's not this unbeatable god, because I don't like that about Batman. The thing that made Tower of Babel so great, the thing that made everyone begin saying that with prep time Batman can beat anybody, was that he literally sat down and worked it all out, and there were references of years of work to execute the plan, and it was good to see Batman return to that more human, intelligent version.
Sorry, I just as soon as you said that, I started thinking about the meme they put out for Batman had a whole bunch of boxes of everyone's weakness, and he pulled out Wonder Woman's, like, this is her weakness. It's empty. Exactly. Why are you messing with her? It's like,
well, I don't know if you've read that story, which maybe we'll cover someday. Literally, the only thing he could find was to set up a way for her to, because she won't give up, is to set up a way for her to fight herself to death.
Like, that was in the movie too.
Yeah, which I loved, by the way. That movie was great.
We'll continue back to the comic.
But yeah, it was really good. A criticism, I believe one, if not both of you, was going to bring up that I do agree with. I love the side characters. I feel like they weren't featured enough, and that's something I can honestly say. I feel like there should have been more focus. The only side character I didn't like, but I didn't like her going in, was spoiler Stephanie Brown, but I've never been a fan.
And let you know that's actually her name is Spoiler.
Yes, that is her superhero name. Her dad's the Clue Master. We're all just going to have to grin and bear it, because
I found it funny and clever in a stupid way.
In the 50s, it was funny and clever. 2017, it's not funny.
Every time she talked, I cringed. Spoiler,
your ass got kicked.
Or spoiler, I'm exhausted. It's not a spoiler.
I don't think she said it that many times.
No, she did the bedroom scene. when they get back from the.
Y'all talk about the sex scene. I don't remember it.
No, it's not even that.
No, it's not even
after
that. It's
she
when they
gets
get
done-
back from the training.
When she gets done training.
But they get back to the
exhausted.
apartment. Yeah. And she's
They're
still.
not in the correct order because I don't remember. There was no numbers.
Their numbers.
Their numbers
Where?
at the top, right there, where it says 935. And there's 936, 937, 938, 99.
I did not notice that.
It's okay.
So did you read them out of order?
No.
So how'd you read them in order?
I got lucky.
I gave them to you in order. So if you kept them in order,
I thought I gave them back to him.
Then there you go.
then that's how he read them in order.
What you know? They should make that shit way more obvious.
Okay, when she got out of the mud room when they did the training.
I want to say it was after that.
Okay, because in that one, Batwoman's calling her spoiler, not saying spoiler.
Look,
No.
all I'm saying is that why are you trying to fact check me?
No, I'm not trying to fact check. I'm trying to make sure, I'm trying to make sure
what
that
is
I'm not.
this?
There was
Am
a
I-
moment after one of the training sessions
Am
though,
I
where she's
on
in the
the
apartment
stand
with
here?
Tim.
No one's on the stand. Just I'm trying to make sure that I'm not stupid. That I didn't miss something. Shut up.
I mean, it's really hard to draw the parallel between you and intelligence.
Why?
Remember?
The microphones are just.
As soft as he talks, you don't even have to adjust the thing.
Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Beep.
I'm sorry, did the defecating cripple speak?
Oh,
You know, eventually, once I get the right setup, I'm gonna have a soundboard next to me. So every time things I'm gonna just put a sound off like or funny shit, just because it's funny. Anyway,
I did like him with his shirt off, though.
What, Tim? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is that Tim?
that is Tim.
Okay,
Red Robin is Tim,
okay.
because New 52.
I'm sorry. I like Red Robin better when he had the giant bald cow. I don't know why. I like that better.
You mean
You're
when
supposed
he
to
was
feel
part of the
bad.
Teen
He,
Titans?
dies horribly.
Was he part of Teen Titans on that one?
Dude, you remember the old series we all used to watch as kids? That wasn't Dick Grayson. I don't care what anyone says.
That was
Dick
Dick
Grayson. No, that was not Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
They may have may have put him in the place of Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson never fought like that.
Nah.
That was Tim. Dick's costume never looked like that. That's Tim. Go back and watch it. I can promise you it's Tim.
Although, once again, I have to admit, my favorite character in any Batman story is Alfred.
Alfred is real sassy.
Galadrius. Mike.
You were looking away when you said it, so
Yeah, so it didn't come in very well. Sorry. I mean, if you don't want to be heard during this podcast, that's fine.
I feel like you two are talking way too much shit.
Are you kidding me? Did you listen to yourself last podcast? You tore into me for like 30 minutes.
You be aight.
He did though.
I don't remember.
No, the special edition. He totally
You don't
tore
remember anything, so it's cool.
I really don't. This is why we record everything. This is why I'm currently in trouble with my mother.
because you don't remember.
I will get. Well, that's personal talk.
Okay.
But yeah.
Don't forget the glossy side needs to touch the back.
What?
The glossy side of the.
They have to be packaged in a specific way, otherwise his OCD goes off.
Am I doing it right?
Yes.
Okay, making sure.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
It's if you don't do it, the gases and it's the whole thing.
Ooh, I had the urge to smudge the shit out of it while I was borrowing.
We're saying all this because they can't see, but we pulled the comic out to take a look at it, and he's trying to tell me how to put it back, and now he's.
But yes, first of all, I don't like her superhero name.
Spoiler.
I don't like the fact that she communicates in spoiler alerts when it's
Spoiler.
not a spoiler, and because you're using it wrong. There's a segment on John Oliver about old white people who use that word wrong, and she's like those old white people. It's weird.
Spoiler alert! I love you. Like,
Pretty
shut
much.
up.
It's not a spoiler. But I don't know. As far as the stuff that I had an issue with is that I didn't really have enough time or wherewithal to get attached to Red Robin. I didn't care about spoiler. Orphan, I feel like she was introduced to me in a comical way. I feel like when she was introduced to me, it was like the intro to a Kill Bill movie. Her violence was her first language. Bitch, I should have been black, mom. That's the kind of shit that I was sitting here thinking of. I'm just like, I can't stop laughing at this. It sounded so comical. Who describes people like that? And then apparently she is the best fighter that Batman has ever seen.
Apparently can fight on par with Batman is what also said in the book.
Well, this is genetic engineering involved and coupling of the right people. It's a whole thing.
I think the main thing, like just like you said, they introduce these characters really weirdly. I think it's because they expect everyone who first read this, to know about this, because this is like 934 in Detective Comics or 934 in DC in Batman.
That's in Detective Comics. That's 934 Detective. That's yeah.
Okay, so that's probably why. Because
the Detective Comics and Action Comics line were never renumbered post Rebirth.
So they didn't try to restart this and try to hit us in brand new.
They, from what I can tell, they tried to pick it up, but the issue is, and I agree with you, because I actually had more knowledge about that character, so I'd have to ask you guys. Kate was the only person that seemed like she got an okay introduction. You didn't have to know who she was beforehand, but I'd have to ask you guys because I knew who she was.
Kate
Kane, Batwoman.
Oh, I just knew her because I knew Batwoman. Oh, I did not know.
That comic book, the comic Love is Love. That's where I knew her from. That's it.
But if I didn't know her and I read it this way, I would kind of pretty much get the fact.
She was the only one that seemed to have, if I take myself out of it for a second as a Batman fan, she was the only one that seemed to get a halfway decent origin as far as like, you could pick this up, and they explained her enough to get her motivations and who she was.
Because honestly speaking, from this, I did not know. Well, like I know a little bit about Batwoman, but I didn't know that's Batman's cousin. Apparently, insanity runs in the family.
Okay, look, you can make fun of the alley moment all you want, because all you Batman haters are gonna make fun of the damn alley till the day we all die.
Okay, yes.
The alley.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I have to be specific.
Crime alley.
I just gotta ask, like, what's the deal with her and her dad? Like, what? She can't have a functioning relationship with him because he's military?
I don't know why they changed it, because I believe in New 52 they worked together. I don't know where the switch came from. I'm assuming they just wanted to throw something in with Jake and make him a more pivotal character. I don't really know. I don't really care about Jake Kane.
I have the perfect answer. The plot willed it.
The plot willed it.
Yes.
It's like plot armor.
Yes.
Also, you don't have to defend this. I just want to know, like, I want to ask the person who wrote this. I get that the army people wanted to emulate Batman, but were the suits necessary?
The only
It's called the Rise of the Batman,
right?
But it doesn't need.
I'm not so much defending this as more making fun.
Okay. Wait 1 second. Let's say, because this is audio, so we have no idea what he's doing.
They don't need to know.
Ladris is doing Batman here.
Because apparently, like, the military people in this comic actually have cowl and with ears. Let's give a basic rundown of what the comic's even about before we get into that. Because I would be confused if I was listening
the basic rundown of this first volume is Batman gets together and forms a team to protect Gotham because he has gotten some inklings that something is going on with the League of Shadows.
But he doesn't want to lead the team. He wants Batwoman to lead the team
because he believes that she's at that point where she can take care of it. And speaking of which, except for the Robins. He's right about this. He believes no one else would question him. Like, that's why Kate is there, is that if shit goes south, Kate will look at him and go, "You're stupid." And she does. I believe there's at least once where she just looks at Bruce and goes, "No.
This is a bad idea, Bruce." Don't call me Bruce, I'm Batman.
Well, considering
a lot of people tell him he's being stupid, though, because Alfred does it too.
Most of the Robins will not.
I know that is incorrect. There was
most. I said most.
Damien.
There was a I can't remember which one of the Batman comics it was in, but basically Batman. Oh, I think it was in the actual Batman comic. Batman's gonna go take care of some business, and he doesn't want any of the Robs to help in, so he invites them out to a superhero themed restaurant in DC that is not Big Belly Burger. And they're all sitting there. First of all, I agree with Keith. The way Tom King writes this is so weird because Batman's a tool because he takes out a fork and a knife to eat a fucking burger. But anyway,
he's not English.
No,
he's American. I don't understand.
It's him. It's him. All the Robins, and then Duke, the dude who's introduced in All-Star Batman. And they're all sitting there, and Bruce says, "Okay, so I'm gonna do this thing. Everybody stay out of it. I'm serious." I put my foot down, I give an order, everybody stay out of it. They're like, yeah, sure. He gets up, walks away after he's done eating, and Duke goes, "Well, I guess we won't be helping him," and all the Robins go,
"Oh, this is your first rodeo." Oh, no, we're going to.
Literally.
No, they all say that, and then he still says, "Y'all have fun with that."
Yeah, Duke still left. I'm just like, he said to stay.
Basically, after he puts together this team, they start to get inklings of this League of Shadows, which is not the League of Assassins. They're two completely different things, which is really fucking confusing.
This is their attempt to rectify that.
Wasn't where they just saw that they were being surveillance. They didn't know by who. And at first it was Legion. It was the army.
It turns out to be they're called the Colony, but it turns out that it's they don't know it's the League. They don't know who it is at first, and then after putting this team together, finding more people, tracking down more things, they come across the name of the colony. Then it turns out that that's who's been surveilling them, and they're trying to build this giant army of people who dress up like Batman and do Batman-like things to fight the League of Shadows.
Yes, there we go.
Who are a myth to the League of Assassins that is used to scare initiates of the League of Assassins.
I'm not going to defend this as far as confusingness goes, because if you're not a comic fan, it's confusing. But the reason they are doing this is specifically, remember, Rebirth is here to fix a lot of the big issues, and New 52 established that they were two different fucking things. So Rebirth is trying to go.
I could have sworn they were the exact same thing.
That's what everyone thought, but New 52 set that up, and so now everybody's like, okay, we got to fix this because it makes no sense.
Okay.
And as a Batman fan, I agree, it makes no sense. Zero. So they're coming in and trying to fix that.
But basically, the team members become Spoiler, which most of you won't know.
Stephanie Brown,
Orphan, which again, if you're like me, most of you won't know.
I don't know either.
daughter of an assassin.
Clayface, which you might have heard from the cartoons, but if not, you won't know.
Voiced by the spectacular Ron Perlman.
Robin, but we all know who Robin is.
Tim Drake Robin. So
Tim
Well,
Drake
we know
Robin.
who
number
Robin
3?
in general is.
Number 3.
Three. He was 3.
Jesus Christ. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Batwoman.
Damn. It's going right off poor Kate like that.
Well, the one thing
Well,
though,
I don't agree with the criticism, which is that they made her a lesbian because, okay, in her backstory, she gets kicked out of the military because Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which was a glorified witch hunt of gay people in the military.
Remind me, did they mention that in this comic?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Because that is a
They
key
don't
point.
mention-
It's a
they
key
meant-
point in
her
her
father
backstory.
says if you had stayed in the military, then you would have had a better future, and she says that wasn't really an option. And then they have like a past history thing that goes into her past. It says she was dishonorably discharged for who she is,
Yeah.
and then she's with her an ex-girlfriend at the bar.
Okay.
So you know, okay, she's gay, and she got dishonorably discharged because of the gay witch hunt that was Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Right.
Thank you, Bill Clinton. But she basically is ex-military, and Batman hands this over to her. I wish we got a little bit more backstory because they mention her mom dying and her sister dying.
We'll get a bit more in a later issue
Okay.
of Detective Comics because there's a whole set called Batwoman Begins, and then it leads into her solo stuff. Yes, they
it's
did that.
unintended.
Yeah, they did that. Look at you. That's the joke.
Steve got the joke.
oh, and let's
Look at the
also
big brain on bread.
do we want to dedicate this episode
To whom? Who we dedicating this episode to?
the fallen Batman?
Oh my goodness, you're right. Yes, I think we will dedicate this to the late great Adam West.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah.
Whether you love or hate what he did in the '60s as Batman, he was a big impact on the industry. And
Adam West.
I love that man made fun of himself. That tells me you're a
I'm
good
actually interested
star.
in what they're going to do for Family Guy. Like, this is the only reason I would tune back in now to see like how we're going to handle that Adam West is gone.
Hopefully they do a tribute episode because they did one for Peter's boss in like the first season was played by the guy who voiced the Taco Bell dog. Seriously, and that guy died.
Oh,
That guy legitimately died.
okay.
But yeah, to the late great Adam West,
Yes.
may he rest in peace. The bat phone has rang for the last time.
Really?
Leave me alone.
The Bat computer is in shutdown.
Well, that back.
We put the cave on lockdown. Alfred done retired.
Why can't
No one
you let
rides
me
the
have
poles
this?
anymore.
I wouldn't go that far.
No one
Oh,
rides the
no.
poles anymore.
My wife would not watch the movie with me in mourning.
Oh, the movie is so good and campy.
It is so good and campy and self-aware.
Yes.
Which basically, ladies and gentlemen, means you need to hate watch it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
That is exactly the answer. Hate watch it.
Okay, shark repellent appears, so yes, I can't really.
Bat shark repellent, and also you can dehydrate people.
Yeah, with the bat trunks and the Joker trunks.
So going back to the
Shit that actually matters.
Right.
But yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. Like the main thing, my main thing about you still had more to say about how good it was. Or?
No, he was explaining that he didn't agree with the criticism on the internet, and it has gotten a lot of flack for people saying that they only made her a lesbian.
To inflate her backstory, and they didn't even really mention it all that much. It was that one little thing of dialogue, and I'm like, that's just who she is as a person.
Do they mean just for this comic or just her character in general?
general.
When she first came out in New 52, it was a big stank because back in the 60s, since we mentioned Adam West, Kate can't remember what her last name was, but she was not the same character. They weren't related. It was a big thing when there was that big revolution. First, there was a big revolution of sidekicks. During the 60s, we also had the big revolution of, well, every male superhero needs a female. And then she was basically just a crazy chick that chased around Batman and wanted to bang him.
So Batgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except less developed.
Okay.
I like Barbara.
Well, no, technically speaking, she was more developed.
Barbara was a glorified groupie, though.
In the beginning.
Wouldn't Batwoman be more developed
Killing
than,
Joke, same
than her?
thing.
Good point.
I'm gonna fuck you. Why? Why? Well, it proves she's a strong woman. I mean, okay, sure, she got shot and she's still alive and not depressed and shit. But do you really have to fuck someone who's like a father figure to you? That's just creepy.
Some people are into that, man.
Wouldn't Batwoman be more developed since she was a woman and Batgirl was a teenager?
No, I meant the character.
I know what you meant.
development.
I'm still
I know
saying what I'm
you're
saying.
doing is a bad joke.
I don't
on
care.
words.
I'm going to keep it going.
Okay,
Wouldn't she be more
you can
developed?
keep it
Once
going.
again, look at the big brain on Brad. But
Look, it's your 2-level commentary. Oh my god. We're keeping that.
I'm not. You're editing in this. I'm just putting down notes for you.
But I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, it's just that the characters weren't as well developed as I feel they could have been. I don't know. I didn't really get attached to the characters. The only time that I actually felt bad for Robin was when he got accepted at the very end to that university. And I was just like, and all I could think is when Batman was hugging Spoiler, I was like, you done fucked up, Bruce. I blame you.
Here's the thing. When that happened, what we're talking about is that Tim Drake got advanced. He got accepted to like Harvard or
No, it was an Ivy League college.
an Ivy League
The
college
name was Ivy League.
in robotics and stuff like that, like a really high thing. Like
Yeah.
And he was torn between telling Batman I'm leaving or if he's going to do it or not. And Batman never knew about it. And when he got, as soon as I saw that letters, and as soon as Spoilers said that it's going to happen, it's like, you gonna die. This is the Disney. This is Disney. So you're gonna die.
Technically,
what?
he's not dead.
We're not. Yes, but we knew he was going to quotation marks die.
Which is another reason I find it hard to like
it's the big hook for Rebirth.
show.
Mr. Oz has him in his
Show.
random.
Who?
The cloaked figure. That's the guy's name, Mr. Oz.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that's why everyone thinks it's Ozymandias. I feel like that's a bit on the nose, but everyone thinks it's Ozymandias.
It's Oz. It's Ozymandias. It's weird.
I feel like it's a bit on the nose, so if they do Ozymandias, I'm going to be underwhelmed. I agree with you. All things are pointing towards him, but I'm going to be very underwhelmed if it's like, aha, it's Adrian Veitz, and I'm like,
Wait, who would actually? Just tangent. Like, who would actually be smarter, him or Batman?
Well, that's going to be one of the interesting things.
I would say that Ozymandias, only because Batman has never dealt with somebody that will tell them their entire plan and then go, "Oh no, I did all that 35 minutes ago."
He's got a point.
And Batman
when
still
he monologues, I've already done it. This is what a monologue is
Batman
for.
still believes that I can stop it, and with Ozymandias, nah, I did that shit 45 minutes ago.
That's the thing that kills me, because the people who love the Wildstorm universe and the people who love the Watchmen universe were afraid that their characters are going to be overshadowed by DC characters. I think the opposite is going to happen, because Ozymandias can think circles around Bruce, or at the very least, Bruce would have to really research him to even get on his level, and he is on the same level I would think as Lex Luthor. And look, Dr. Manhattan versus Superman is not a contest.
Why? Who even thought that was an idea?
There are people. They're wrong.
Yes, they're wrong.
I'm gonna say out my favorite quote, which is, this Dr. Manhattan can manipulate things on a molecular level, turn Washingtons into Benjamins. Not a nut. So I really don't see how he couldn't just. Didn't he make Rorschach explode? Like
Yes.
just explode, blood everywhere.
Oh, viscera.
So like, couldn't he just do that to Superman? Couldn't he just see the Kryptonian and go?
Here's what's like, snap. Oh, you're not human. Okay,
I am?
you're that. Okay, I know that.
Yeah, there would be the split seconds, like, oh,
Sorry.
bam.
Oh, you're a new
Second snap.
The only fight I think would actually work between Dr. Manhattan is him as Galactus, and that's a stretch.
That's a different universe.
Yeah, I
that's
know.
Marvel.
I still say that's the only fight that's gonna work. Is that him?
I don't know. Dr. Manhattan and like Highfather or Darkseid would be something to see. Technically, the new versions are multiversal. They are
Okay.
outside the multiverse. So I feel like
Okay.
maybe
Trigon.
Trigon. Oh, Trigon, Dr. Manhattan. I'd sign up for that
But see,
ringside
the
scene.
thing is convincing them to fight in the first place,
Right.
because Manhattan is extremely logical.
Yeah.
That's why when Ozymandias told him all of that bullshit and was
It's
like,
huh, That's a good idea.
Because in the original comic, it wasn't Manhattan that was the villain. It was some giant space tentacle monster that Ozymandias just bullshitted out of his ass.
It's a psychic monster.
And that's what killed people. In the movie, it was Dr. Manhattan that done killed everybody.
And by the way,
he told everybody.
on a slight tangent, can we agree that that was better?
Yes.
As much as I love the old comic, can we agree that the
movie ended better? And then Manhattan looked at it and goes, "Oh, it's not that I've been betrayed. It's actually this was really smart. I'm gonna let you do that.
This is a good idea."
And then Rorschach, no, we have a turd in the pudding bowl.
That's great. We're gonna need to make t-shirts.
Scoop that shit out.
Sorry, I got that from South Park, so we can't make that shirt.
Oh damn, we can't.
It's from South Park.
Damn.
And it's actually the punch bowl, not the pudding bowl, but I said pudding. My main thing on this one is that one of the main things I liked about this one was mainly the fact that they made Batman not all powerful, because when he eventually, like while he's on his way home from training or doing something like that, he runs into the Colony, who are all Batman-esque trained military people, and they beat the shit out of him. And it's not that I let myself get beat to get captured. No, he literally got beat.
That's one of the things I like is that they're not saying that they take these green recruits and add Batman's training and that makes them better than any recruits. They're saying they take badass soldiers who already have all the training that our armed forces get, which is, if anyone like us knows people in the armed forces, you know that's some serious shit.
You don't fuck with them.
And then you add that to Batman's training and gadgets and you're like, damn.
And I like how the Batman training isn't really we get somebody who used to be a fellow used to be Batman. We just use all the recordings we have of him beating the shit out of people, and then we had
you mean the comic book nerd who that, and that's the suits. That's my answer to the suits. It's nothing else.
We're all big fans, and he's got the fucking Batman.
He's got the bat symbol.
What they're talking about is that the dude who actually did all the surveillance and did all the tech stuff. He's actually a big ass Batman fan.
I am so glad that you are here, Mr. Master of Time and Space.
He said my title
again
2 episodes ago. He said he would never say it. Go ahead.
You see, this is why you can't have.
I was gonna pay him a compliment, but I'm done now. Anyway, moving on to important.
I'm sorry. I really need it right now. Could you just play the compliment, please?
I was gonna say that I'm glad you're here because you keep our thoughts on track.
You keep our thoughts on track a lot better when you're actually contributing to the conversation. Because also, you were doing a great job, but I would look over when you weren't speaking, and you look like you were kind of like nodding off. You're like, oh, on topic.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not judging you. I'm saying you from listening to the edits of since you've hopped on, as well as, but you keep us on topic a lot better. So we're glad you joined us.
Yes. But yeah, he was a big old fan, and like he straight up was like fanboying over Batman. It's like, can I get
his ass kicked?
Can I get a selfie with you? Like, are you fucking serious? I'm Batman right now. Tell me what I want to know.
I also feel like that was a shot at comic book fan. Yes. When I was reading it, as a hardcore Batman fan, I was like, ow. I'm just like, you're not wrong, but ow.
What the fuck is up with the Hood? Is he okay? When Batman gets captured, right, in the comic book, he's got a thing with his hood, and the reason they can't pull it back is because it's gonna like wipe all of the fucking.
Apparently, the suit has some kind of electronics in it, and they want to salvage it to make better gadgets for them.
And so they're like, but if we pull the hood back to reveal his identity, all of this shit will blow up and whatnot.
I feel like it's a better reasoning than 2 masks. As a Batman fan, that's all I can tell you is that sounds a lot cooler than he's wearing a second mask.
The only thing I say
is like, can't get it off. He tied this shit like a Girl Scout.
Exactly. I feel like the shit that they.
It's a better way than what happened in Batman. Which one that had Heath Ledger in it?
That was like Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Because when someone tried to take it off, it shocked the person. It's like it's a countermeasure for him to not be unmasked, but it's like we want to save his tech.
You really can't make it sound good though.
No, not at all.
I
was actually confused. I actually read that line like 3 times to understand like what's gonna happen if they get off?
What you mean? Wait, what you mean that what will short circuit? Like your whole system? No, just the suit. What? Okay.
Apparently the suit has something in it.
No, you do you, bro.
I also found out that one of our fellow tabletop companions is a Nolan Batman fan. I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
Because Nolan Batman is horrible. I don't care how mad the internet gets at me. Nolan Batman is horrible. He should feel bad for himself.
Still a better Joker than Jared Leto.
Well, again, Jared Leto didn't set the bar all that high. That's like saying you can beat me in a foot race. It's accomplishable, but really, should you tell people?
Honestly speaking, I liked Bane.
Social. Oh my god, I love this.
Okay.
Power
Now let me explain before you go into it. Bane in this one is a lot more. He's a lot more quotable than any of the Banes I've seen. In the other, okay, think about it. What did the other Bane say in Batman Forever?
Oh, I know.
First of all, that was a horrible movie, and that was Batman and Robin. First of all, get your shit straight. Yes.
So was it Batman Forever?
No, Batman Forever was Riddler and Two-Face.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, the one that you're talking about with Bane had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Yeah,
Time
and
to
Uma
put
Thurman.
this on ice.
All right, everyone, chill. What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
Just like, that's not a joke. That's not even a pun. Stop it.
I hate the Schumacher movies.
I love the Schumacher. They're so they're
a hate watch.
They're like they're second level to Adam West.
Bat nipples.
Okay. As a person who's, I'm not trying to make a joke when I say this to you, I'm really not. But somebody who doesn't run, I've tried running a while ago, and for some odd reason, it's a real fucking thing. Your nipples chafe when you run, and you do extraneous lots of work.
Bat nipples.
So having space for the
The
nipples
only
to
thing
not
good
do
about that
is a
was
thing.
there was equality bat nipples.
Yes.
So you just need a training bra that pushes up and lifts.
Or put band-aids over them, apparently. That's actually...
Bat-nades.
Yes. But
All I have to say to you is Cowabatka.
I'm done with you.
It's on the front of the
Oh, God. Shut
the
up.
issue of Batman
Shut
beats
up.
Ninja Turtles.
going back to the comic again, I liked how they humanized him a bit, because like I said, all the Batman comics I've ever seen and everything's like, I'm the Batman, I can do anything I want.
I am
you,
Grim.
no one can beat me. It's like I can fight a room full of people and still survive. Like, no, fighting against a room full of military grade people and you think you can get out of this without a single scratch is bullshit. And I like how they did that. It's like these guys are military grade, military trained and Batman-esque trained, and they beat you. And it wasn't like he beat 20 of them and then no. He maybe got like 5 good shots in.
I also wish that we got more like training with the group.
Yeah,
and
they
we
only
only got like
one.
one little, and it was at the end of the training scene.
Yeah, and it
just
was an army of jokers.
And I'm just like looking at it, I'm like, okay, so they can't fight, they're not prepared, and then when they do show up, they're like, suddenly we're prepared, and I'm like, but you're not. Like, you just told us like 5 minutes ago you wasn't prepared. Also, Orphan got her ass kicked on that roof. She got her ass kicked on that roof and fell through the skylight, and then she got up to fight again. They knocked the ass out with like 20 some odd like tranquil darts, and then when she shows up on the fucking elevator, there's like 82 fucking people, and they send you to beat us, and she's all like, yes.
Yeah,
And I'm
'cause
just like,
Orphan says one
wait,
thing.
but like 20 people beat your ass last time, so like how?
They had guns. I don't know. It's a comic book.
It's a comic.
I know.
Power scaling is an issue both companies have.
She wasn't serious. That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
She got serious.
She got real.
Just
It
like,
wasn't her final form.
She screamed a whole bunch, and then her power level went up.
she doesn't scream. She doesn't even say a word.
No, she
She
does
was-
say a word, yes.
It says
no,
word.
safe. These are all words that she said, by the way.
Yes. No, apparently she doesn't.
She doesn't speak in sentence. That's what we mean.
her language is violence. Okay.
Oh my god. Bitch, I should have been Black Mamba.
And you know what? She's fluent in that language.
God.
But here's another thing I actually kind of didn't understand. I thought it was kind of stupid. I think it was just Ex Machina. Where did Tim get all this money to make a bat monorail or a bat bullet
Oh my
train?
god, and it was built. Okay, am I the only
From
one that
Bruce.
thought when they
He
said.
said infinite funds. Like, he doesn't have infinite money.
But when they said also big
comic
time out,
books.
just think about this logistically. Just fucking think about this. It was built. The train station that he was building in was built 100 feet underneath the current one that the city of Gotham uses, which is then built under the Wayne Court Tower. So if they're not maintaining that one, architecture fails and caves in on itself, and then all of that other shit does too, and then Wayne Tower falls underneath the. I'm just saying that was the first thing I thought about when they were talking about that shit. I was like, one day, and then my husband pointed out that Lucia Fox fixes all that shit.
Yeah, but once again, who built?
Lucius Fox.
Lucius
yeah.
got
Okay, but we only have like 3 people. Who are the contractors who built this and decided not to say anything about it?
Well, they built it like at the founding of Gotham, like literally.
no.
that
I'm
was
talking
back.
about the actual bat plane, the bat.
Oh no,
bullet
it
train
built itself. Did you see like the giant robot arms that were like?
Yes.
They just programmed that shit. Lucius Fox is a good guy.
So somehow they got all the material downstairs over 200 feet.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Bruce knows a black guy.
You know a black guy, and I can't do shit like
Your
that.
name ain't Victor Stone.
I I wish my name was Victor Stone. I'd be
Yeah, you'd be cool, but you are not Cyborg. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
No, it's flimsy.
Well, no, I'm also just saying. How many black superheroes we know? Count to cripple once. You're not even a hero, brother.
No. I'm the person they're trying to save. Maybe. Don't bring it up. I know what you're thinking.
I was about to say a crippled superhero who's no longer crippled now, but she's crippled.
That's not the one I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about, and it was disgusting. It disgusts me. Marvel, you should feel bad about yourself.
Okay, there's no way you're gonna hype this up and not
You
say
have
what
to say
is
it.
now.
You have to
Okay,
say it.
Marvel created a new Ghost Rider called Robbie Reyes.
Wait, there's a new Ghost Rider?
He went and got canceled and came back, got canceled.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, he's Hispanic, cool with that. He got a brother, I'm cool with that. Homie's in a wheelchair. Okay, people can be in wheelchairs, I'm cool with that. Apparently, he's also mentally and emotionally disabled. All of them at once, because you can't just be disabled. Let me put it this way. Brother gets taken over by the spirit, because if you know anything about Ghost Rider, that shit always happens. And so the spirit knocks him out of his wheelchair and leaves him to go, and he doesn't crawl towards the phone or anything. He, with action figure still in hand, crawls to the fridge and can't reach anything. And when you see him hours later, he's just trying to reach food out of the fridge, not get to the phone, not pull himself into a chair using his arms. No, he's got action figure in hand, clawing at the food.
Wow.
Thank you, Marvel.
Marvel.
I thought we were going somewhere totally different.
And I showed Keith the panels.
Marvel apparently thinks that handicapped people are like house pets. They will just, when you leave, they will just pull out the food.
I thought you were going to tell me that Ghost Rider is inhabiting a
No,
person
that would be
wheelchair,
cool.
And it's literally the Ghost
No.
Rider.
That would be fucking
flames on the
cool.
wheels. I was hoping for that, and you destroyed it.
No, see,
No,
I'd read
Marvel.
that.
Marvel.
I would read that. It's the
Marvel
same thing when you
destroyed
told,
that.
as dumb as it is, when you told me Odin from Kenichi does wheelchair martial arts, I was kind of wanting to see wheelchair martial arts.
I'll bring up the panels for you. They're actually pretty goddamn awesome. He whoops ass in that. He actually does like kip ups and backflips in that goddamn wheelchair.
So how are Japanese people like more okay with handicapped heroes?
That's because they lock away the gay people.
Oh yeah, sure.
And when
You got one or the other.
And they either lock them away, or when they're in media, they're usually either evil or weird.
Or basically women.
Yes.
Basically women. No, and I don't even mean they don't even do them the honor of at least making them look feminine and attractive. No. They're big, burly physical forms with unshaven beards that just act like women.
By the way, this is coming from two straight men. I just want to say, let the record show that I am not on the soapbox.
No. Well, it's the same thing
it's bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit.
Be honest, Master of Time and Space. Other than the animes that are trying to be comedic, the big lip thing for black characters has got to drive you crazy, because it drives me nuts, and I'm a white guy.
Luckily, they have toned it down a bit, but it gets annoying sometimes. Like even in Durarara, it's kind of weird because his lips are like 2 shades lighter than him.
I can't tell if I can't. For me personally, I know I'm a white guy, but from my point of view, I can't tell if it's better because the lips are more realistic or more racist. Because I'm looking at Simon, and at least the other characters that have done it in the past were like comical, like.
You know,
racetrack.
Even with all that, I still love Mr. Popo.
Because he's not. We don't
Also,
know what he is.
Was I the only one that was like that had to like flip back and forth in the Batman comic when she took the mask off and it turned out that the long flowing red hair was part of the helmet?
Yes, I was actually going to mention that. I didn't know that.
That's a thing. It's a thing.
She's got like the buzz cut, the army buzz cut.
Talk about
still.
Batwoman.
Yeah,
Batwoman. Yeah. She's got the army buzz cut still, and the fucking long flowing red hair that she's got on her helmet is a wig.
Yep.
Which honestly, that kind of works because like
I thought it was
can't
cool.
be Batwoman.
Oh, I didn't think
where's your long hair? It's like I'm not Batwoman.
I didn't think it was bad. I thought
it was a nice little nod to the fact that Barbara used to let her hair just hang out the back of the cow.
I also like the fact that it goes back to her being military and the fact that she grew up in a military family, and so she still has the classic cut.
Now, this is one thing I gotta say. Like, you know, that's where people start getting about comics getting too political. Like, honestly speaking, all the comics we've read so far, they're pretty political, and this one is another one of those things to where one. Would it be a good thing or bad thing to actually have people in the army trained to be as efficient as Batman?
No.
Why not?
Because Well, let me put it this way: it wouldn't be a bad idea to have them trained that way. But any society that allows the military to police it domestically is a bad idea. That's why there's a military and a police force. But as far as train, if you want to, like, if you were to tell me tomorrow, we found a dude, he basically mastered all this training that we've seen out the comics. Batman, he wants to train our SEALs to, as long as they're still going overseas. I'm down.
I just want to say that y'all heard it here first. The problems to our nation's security is the fact that we don't have some preppy white boy training all of our people.
Rich white man fighting crime.
Hey,
Because it's not illegal if you're rich and white.
hey, look, what was it? Phoenix Jones did it in real life.
No, he actually had to stop.
Yeah, they disbanded his little Justice
Because
League. I can't remember what
they started to go, okay, this is illegal. You can't do this no more.
Yeah, they had like what 10 members, like, and this happened in real life, folks.
Yes.
A guy went around. His outfit looked freaking awesome.
It was like cosplay wise, that's fucking awesome. Dude.
Well, you know, it's also functional.
Yeah, mostly functional.
Yeah.
And, I still don't understand the full one piece cowl because then you really can't turn it. And he had a full one piece cowl,
Yeah.
so it didn't make any sense on that one. But his special weapon was mace and fighting, but mace.
Oh, he had like I said, we're talking about a real person who formed a little super. I
think it was in New York, too.
No,
Seattle?
I think it was in Seattle.
Seattle? Yeah, you're right, Seattle.
And I think he was an ex-MMA fighter, so yeah.
But by the way, folks, we're not saying you, the average person, should go off and do this. This dude was ex-MMA.
Vigilantism is still against the law.
But we have all these billionaires out there, and not one of them is going to be Batman.
No. You know what? I'm gonna make
too
the
old
joke.
and fat.
I'm gonna make the joke because we were not doing this while the election was going on. In the middle of October, we had the election going on, and we had killer clowns. Why is it we have psycho clowns going around stabbing people, and we got evil billionaires running for president, but we ain't got no Superman or
Because
Batman?
England got all the heroes. In their last prime minister election, they almost voted in a guy named Lord Buckethead. I'm not even kidding. He looks like he's got Darth Vader's thing, but he's got like a Dalek head, and so he's just sitting there speaking to people, and he's telling shit like it is, and I'm just like, I love this fucking
America, I'm not supporting vigilantism, but we do have evil billionaires and psycho clowns. I'm just saying, take away from that what you will, and
Just know that he won't be helping you because he's crippled.
there.
And my next political charge question is drones. Because one of the main things that happened near the end,
Right, I didn't.
Yeah.
All of the little tiny drones.
yeah,
though.
what they originally wanted to do in the comic, the colony wanted to attack where the League of Shadows or the
League of Shadows.
League of Shadows would be, the splinter cells, where it sounded like a lot of conspiracy.
Sadly,
But
basically, it was the plot of Captain America 2.
it's Hydra, yes, and
Without Hydra.
yeah, and the main thing was after Tim, and I didn't know Tim was an amazing hacker that could do
Yes,
shit while he's
that's his
talking.
big-
No,
Yeah.
fucking. He couldn't even get in, and then he's like, I was in for like a millisecond. That was enough for me to get on. Like,
To geocache, he was like, bullshit.
the fuck is
Well,
this?
and while we're on the subject, I called out Teen Titans for doing the same thing. Young Justice did the same thing. They merged Tim and Dick, and then brought up Tim as a wholly separate character in season 2.
But I was reading that, and I was like, the devil is a lie. I just don't understand what the hell you was doing, and then
I don't understand, like, how exactly you get into everybody's Wi-Fi without a password. And this is military grade encryption Wi-Fi. So
Red Robin.
yum. So going back to the,
Is that going to be a copyright issue?
I have no fucking clue. We'll find out.
Once again, we are not sponsored.
Right?
Yeah, there we go.
We are not sponsored by
So
Red Robin.
the main thing is like they were going to attack the League of Shadows, who they thought they couldn't have a good enough number, but they figured out where they generally where they
Could be
were.
statistically.
And so they were going to use the drones because Red Robin took out everyone by scrambling their helmets. Somehow taking off their helmets makes them
No, it was the bat screech thing. They were just
Yeah.
getting the sound sensitivity.
Yeah,
to it.
and they had to take it off in order to
Yeah.
not go deaf. But like once you take it off, you can still be a soldier. But apparently, no, you couldn't. So plot hole. That's the only thing I couldn't stand. But then they sent drones out, and that's always been a hot topic here in America. Is like using unmanned drones to do things like that.
Because
and while
children can buy them now.
I'm talking about the military ones that actually.
Is there
I-
much of a difference anymore?
Oh, I have a drone at my house, and it's not military grade. It's like little things about that big in my palm of my hand.
Okay.
Nobody has a camera on it though.
Yeah, that sounds real safe. Anyway.
But yeah, what do you think about that? Like, I know how they did it in the comic was completely wrong, using this in a civilian area.
No,
But-
it doesn't matter because, again, I don't know out of you two. I know definitely out of the cripple, I tend to lean more left.
Yeah, I think
Obama was one of our biggest presidents to use drones, and you have many stories about soldiers who accidentally ended up killing civilians, even though the military gave them the green light to bomb a terrorist, air quotes, location. And so, do I believe in drones? No. I don't think that they're a weapon that we are ready for. There are many weapons I don't believe we're ready for, and drones happens to be one of them. I don't think that was really the point that they were getting at in the comic book. I think it was mostly because remember before that they used little bat drones to spy on people.
Right.
So
I think it was more the Big Brother angle.
So it was much more of them just doing what they could, and then they wouldn't have to risk soldier lives. Because remember, they also show with the geek, the guy who was doing all this and the biggest fan for Batman, was showing them. He showed Batman that clip where all of them came and broke into like a terrorist cell thing.
Yeah, and it took about less than like 2 minutes.
And killed everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and of course they all had turbans on and whatnot. But anyway, so they killed all those people, and I'm like, so they were going to use this program to do great harm regardless with the robotics or not. It's basically people who don't know how to use technology for the greater good getting a hold of technology that is too advanced.
For them. I will say, if you want to talk about political questions, the big question to me was the Big Brother question. So, how safe is too safe? How safe is not safe enough? Do you guys agree with me that having a group operating like that domestically?
You know the quote.
You don't want me to use the quote.
Use the quote.
Use the quote, Jeff.
Now I blanked out because he completely.
What is that? Wait.
Security.
Go back. Use the quote.
Those who give up. The quote that he's talking about is those who give up safety for security deserve neither,
and shall receive neither. And as Aladrius has stated, we are on different ends of the spectrum, but that's what, when you brought up the drone thing, that's what scares me, is the fact that these kind of things could operate domestically. And that it's a real big question about. But actually, I'm going to give credit to both companies. That's been a big thing for the past 5 to 10 years. It's in the background of a lot of comics for the past 5 to 10 years, where they're like, hey, they're monitoring phone calls. Is that messed up? We're not going to focus on it, but hey, Shield's tracking down people's identities by looking at their emails. I mean, it's just 1 or 2 lines, but maybe it's
Batman does the exact same
thing. And that was one of the few things I liked about the second Nolan movie, was when Batman's doing that to find people. Lucius Fox is like, and no.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Because at some point you're asking people to give up more and more and more of their private lives in the name of security and safety, and they're going to continue to receive neither. Because when you start letting the government in and in and in, it's very hard to get it out.
Exactly.
So.
There's definitely, as far as I'm concerned, a line.
You've posed 2 political questions. I'll pose one back at you. The government in this one, symbolized by the rise of the Batman, the fact that all those soldiers were dressed like Batman. First of all, is there a difference between what they do and what the police does? If we said that we don't want the army here domestically, currently, in modern day, what is the difference between the armed forces being deployed here in America and the police, and how they conduct themselves?
Honestly speaking, in my opinion, the army is more organized, but the only problem with that, they're more organized, but they're more heavily armed too. And that becomes an issue because now we have local police here. They're not trained very well. Like, some of them are, but a lot of them aren't, to the point to where people get killed on the regular now. And
they do have military grade vehicles and weaponry as well.
Yeah, so it's not a good thing. One thing I would say, the only thing I would take from the army to be domestically is the training. Is the training of actually being able to take care of a situation. Because even like army people have even talk shit about police officers, saying like, we don't fire off anything until orders are given. We don't do anything like that. We don't just start popping off and killing anyone. Would I want the army here? Not particularly. And honestly, if we have local law enforcement, I want them to be better trained. I wouldn't mind them having a military background, but I wouldn't want them to be straight up military here because that's a whole nother different problem. Because that's a lot more tech to worry about. At least with police officers, you won't get that high level military grade stuff until like riots start happening. But no, I wouldn't want the army here domestically, honestly speaking, and I wouldn't want the colony, nor would I want a Batman or Batman group. Because it's the exact same thing to me.
Well, oversight.
Yeah, there's no oversight.
And that's one of the issues I like about The Watchmen. I know we have differing opinions on that, but that was one of the questions that Alan Moore raised that I really like is, who watches The Watchmen? And we've talked about the army and the police. I'm going to pose that question. And to me, regardless of your opinion on either of these issues, the big thing we have to come back to is oversight. Because no person on either side is completely blameless of either issue. There are officers who are who are in the right and in a dangerous situation and stuff happens. And there are those that are just predisposed to behave the way they're going to behave. And that's not acceptable. And, it's the same. It's just one of those things where oversight is the issue. They're, like you said, people with less knowledge and more weaponry. That the problem becomes, we need to get people conditioned to be able to handle their level of power and responsibility, which is, I believe, a partial commentary here in the book.
Sharpen the mind, not the sword.
Exactly.
Right.
And I believe, am I wrong?
I can hear it. It's coming in.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to edit that out.
Oh, I kind of want the
Why do you want the cat screeching?
Because believe it or not, people like cats in podcasts. For some reason, they love hearing that shit. Where's my pen?
Yeah, if they lived with
right next to your laptop.
right.
Thank you.
There, it's like tucked in the little thing. But I thought that was the point they were trying to make is, like you said, technology versus level of knowledge on how to use it, which I think is a point one of the Bat Family makes at some point.
Now, let's get a little away from the political because it's gotten real heavy.
Yeah.
Let's go back to one of your favorite characters, one of the questions that I had to figure out, one of your favorite characters in this comic, and that was Clayface. I would have never thought of Batman going to Clayface to join his team. I would have never thought that. Unless I've missed something. I probably have missed something. But
to me, that was the best hint that this writer gave that this is not a Snyder Batman story. Because in most of the Snyder Batmans and in the versions like that, he's been very, I am awesome, I am badass, and I'm just going to beat the crap out of everybody.
With me, it wasn't so much as I knew why Batman would go to him. It's because the way they introduce Clayface is that he's broken out, right, of presumably Arkham. Yeah. And he's hit up this movie theater and scared all the people away, all the moviegoers away. And he's just sitting in this movie theater watching this guy on a screen, and this guy's performing in a movie, and Batman walks up to him and is like, doesn't say anything, and Clayface is like, look, this is me before the accident, before I became this giant glob of clay. So it's 84 minutes long. With credits, I like to sit here and just remember who I used to be. And after that, you can take me back and I won't even fight you. We'll just go. And Batman starts to feel for him, and I'm like, at that point, they humanized something that wasn't human anymore. It didn't look human. And to me, that was one of the deepest character moments that we got out of the entirety of this comic book run. Orphan was a badass assassin who stayed a badass assassin that was a badass assassin. We didn't learn anything about her. Spoiler, I'll be honest, I didn't care. No. I really didn't care. She was the love interest to Red Robin. Cool. Red Robin got to learn a little bit, but again, he's Mr. I've got convenient knowledge for the sake of convenience. And you got Batwoman, and that was cool and all, but again with Batwoman, I feel like it was more or less she kept taking this backseat to Bruce Wayne. Every decision she made, they compared it to Bruce Wayne. Every time she did a decision, she'd compare this to, would Bruce do this? Would Bruce do that? Would Bruce do this? And I'm just like, okay, enough. It's not about Bruce Wayne. He's been gone for the majority of the comic book. Got his ass whooped early on.
And captured.
I need you to be gone from the story. And so they failed to make me care as much as I did about Clayface. Because they kept humanizing him, and especially when they gave him the bracers back. they give him bracers that turn him back into his human form.
That let him hold it, because that's the thing that happened. Like, he was watching the movie and he couldn't hold his form anymore, so he got big. Because I think he said he got pissed people were talking during the movie, and he transformed because he wanted them gone. And so it's like, okay, I'll go back, dude. Just let me watch my movie, and
just let me remember who I used to be.
But just a little tangent on that part. Batman had the technology to stabilize his form so he could be normal.
And take it, but it took his powers away when he wore them.
Okay. And that's all Clayface. Every time we've seen
that's
Clayface
all he wants, yeah.
No,
why didn't you just give it to him in the first
Batman
place?
was looking for a cure. That is what.
But that is a temporary solution.
That's a temporary solution, so he doesn't become a monster criminal.
But he had, if I got the thing right, he had just developed it, but I could be.
Okay.
I don't think he developed them.
Oh, you don't
I
think he
that
did?
was Red Robin.
Okay, it might have been Red Robin.
And then Robin and Batwoman let him keep the bracers.
Yes.
Because Batman wasn't involved in all that.
There's actually a funny moment in the next volume where when they get called in to do stuff, he's on an audition.
No, that
happened in this one. Okay, I love that. He's like,
they did the whole Bat people assemble, and he was just like, fuck.
Is that Mr. Hegroth? And it's like,
that is definitely my name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, the bat signal. I mean, I gotta go.
If you really enjoyed that, we'll need to get. There's a little crossover event between like these guys, Nightwing, and the Batman comic called Night of the Monster Men. It's like a little 6-issue thing, and they give Clayface a formula that will allow him to be slightly water resistant. And there's just these monsters.
That's a bad idea.
And monsters are attacking, and it's just pouring down rain, and it's really cool. They go into a lot of stuff, but
yeah, isn't like his only weakness is either freezing or water?
I think electricity.
Which is really weird
too.
considering he can harden.
He can dry himself out.
Can harden like steel.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, that's what Batwoman. Her point is at one point is like you could do that. You could learn to hold that permanently, and that way when people attempt to hurt you, it's just bounces off and shit.
Now, back in your commentary about the reason why Batwoman kept questioning herself, and I think her dad brought it up, that she was a soldier who's used to being commanded. So
but he kept trying to mold her into this leader or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the thing she was used to. So that's why I think she keeps quite a question about like what would Batman do, because she's used to taking the orders. Like even her dad said, like, you're gonna come back to me because you want to be a soldier. You want to be ordered.
You don't want to be a commander.
Yeah. And later on, that's when she becomes a commander by telling everyone, "Fight everyone! We're not here to win. We're here to escape." That's only moment she had of like, "I'm going to be the commander now," which is a little lackluster. But then again, is that the end of this thing?
Yeah.
Like, we're never going to see the Batman again, or is what?
Well, I've read up to the second volume. I haven't read much of the third because I couldn't complete the run because of things going on. But with the second volume, the biggest fallout of the Batman is twofold. They now have her father in the Belfry, and that's a big issue. And then someone comes for him.
Oh, and apparently everyone knows who the fuck Batman is.
That kind of pissed me off. I like that Batwoman figured it out, because the whole thought process she had, that made sense. They break down how she knew. Oh shit! No, not in this one. Sorry.
Well, she knew it was him in this one.
Yeah,
but did they break down how? Because that might be Batwoman Begins.
No, she said like, I've known for like a year and a half. I was waiting for you to tell me.
We cousins.
They break down how she figured it out, and I'll go ahead and spoil that for you. In Batwoman Begins, they break. She figures out that her and Batman, Batman approached her as Batwoman, but basically did his whole, this is Gotham, stay out, get on with your life. And well, because when he snuck up on her, there was an exchange, they fought, and she shot him in the leg. And then later on, sometime down the road, she meets up with Bruce for lunch,
and he's shot in the leg.
And then she's like, well, he's got a limp, and then he's like, he makes this much money, and she breaks down the entire thing because he asked how she knew, and she breaks it down, and I was like, that's logical, that makes sense, But yeah, I agree. I didn't like the fact that Jake knew. I felt like that made no sense to me.
I knew it was Bruce.
But then again, I'm okay with them making Jake a villain. I don't like the fact that they just made him hate Thomas out of like nowhere.
Okay, I was kind of on his side for this. Like, Thomas knew that alley was bad. And he knows, as a rich white man in this Gotham place, and where all this crime is, we're gonna go down this alley because it's shorter to go that way, and it's fine. I'm poor, and I do not go down any dark alleys anywhere. But apparently he just felt so protected by himself that he's like, I'll bring my wife and child down this alley.
It's that privilege, man. He felt protected by that aura of privilege.
Joe Chill is immunity to aura of privilege.
So in that respect, I kind of agree with them. It's like, why?
But they hated the Waynes before that, though.
Yeah, the Canes did.
Yeah.
It was like a Romeo and Juliet bullshit story.
Which
but,
was dumb.
But I can understand him hating him because, like, you killed my sister because your dumb ass went down this alley knowing this city is full of crime, but no, you'll be just fine because you guys just saw a movie with Zorro and shit, or at least in whatever one. They keep changing what movie they saw.
What's to update it with the times?
Zorro is still Zorro. Zorro is classic.
No one... We were the last generation to watch a Zorro
Shut up.
movie. We were the last generation to watch a Zorro movie. And we're
Antonio
old.
Banderas.
Best Zorro.
Besides, the Gray Phantom was voiced by Adam West. So when they made that change, I was like...
I have no problem with that one. But yeah, all in all, I did like, and that little thing at the end, like I didn't even know who the fuck that was until you told me this. It's Oz. I thought it's actually the League of Shadows.
No, it was Mr. Oz, and there's a big debate going on about who that is. I like the secondary theory that nobody else likes, that it's pre-New 52, pre-New 52 Lex Luthor, the straight up evil Lex Luthor, because this Lex Luthor's good. So the Lex Luthor we grew up with in Justice League, I like that theory, that it's actually him, and he's just fucking shit up because reasons, because he's a dick.
Your opinion
On what?
What Mr. Oz is?
The ending, which is like he got shot by missiles.
Once
No,
again,
not really.
The ending again kind of ruined the feels, because you start to it's very hard going for me anyway in this comic book to develop feels for these characters because they're just not touched on enough, and it's a whole lot to cram into such a small run, and then you turn around and you tell me that the big emotional buildup is him dying. Psych. By the way, those feels, put them back in the box, close the box, lock the box, throw it in the river, and pretend like those feels never happened.
Also,
that was a very long example. But yeah,
It was longer than the comic. It was...
and I think they kind of gave Robin the Batman plot armor the first thing around, because like he went against how many drones at first, and
It was a couple of hundred.
He goes against 100. He's like, oh, I cracked some ribs, I broke my leg, my femur's broken, I don't know what to do. And then it's like, oh, they're coming back.
The second wave is coming in. It's like,
he looks at it at first. I'm like, oh, he's dying. Those are stars. And then he goes, no, those are drones. I'm like, how many fucking drones they got? Okay, I don't know how many it's gonna take to kill me, but I know how many they're prepared to use.
And I don't understand how, like, these are military things that are they have lock on to a person who cannot.
And he's
run.
got a stick.
Exactly, but somehow he took them all out. The first wave's like, okay, but I saved the city, and then second wave, Batman, I love you. Spoiler, I love you. Orphan, you're right.
I don't even think he talks to Orphan.
No, he didn't. I'm making fun.
You know who else is in that? You'll know. You're a Superman fan. You'll get this. You know who else is in that prison with him? Mxyzptlk.
No.
That's the big
you
twist.
cannot tell me Ozymandias somehow captured Mxyzptlk.
Mxyzptlk.
He can't catch Gilbert Gottfried magic.
That was the big twist in Superman Reborn. Remember how I told you? Well, we may or may not cover it, so I'll go ahead and say it. Remember how I told you there was a random Clark Kent? Nobody knew who it was?
Yeah, and you told me it was Mixel.
It's Mxyzptlk.
Mixel, that's all I'll say. I can't do the second.
I heard him called Mixie.
Mixie, yes.
Good old
I can't say the
Mixie.
mixed part. I don't know why. I used to be able to. I can't.
And apparently the guy trapped him. And I love it when they introduce that it might be him. They cut to his cell and it's a bunch of like carvings of Superman symbol. Like, why didn't you save me? Where are you?
Okay, so like spoiler, but.
Stephanie Brown?
No, but they got Red Robin in here. They got Mxyzptlk, and they got Trigun, and they got Darkseid.
Bullshit.
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
No,
Bullshit.
by the way, I made those middle two.
The last two.
Okay, I'm about to say, don't give me that. Ozymandias is not that fucking powerful.
He's listing people we haven't seen since Rebirth launched.
Okay.
So they're all in this fucking like extra dimensional plane of bullshit.
So far, the only two people we can confirm, three people we confirm are there.
It's called Off the Field. We're taking
Yes, off the field.
Which would kind of make sense for Ozymandias because he was all about chess, and so taking someone off the field is a
Like I
chess
said,
term.
if it's him, I'm gonna be a little bummed because it's an obvious. It's like obvious.
it's the exact same thing I had with Naruto when they found out who.
But that's not how Ozymandias works, though.
No,
That's the thing that kills me is that people saying this. I'm like, but that's not how he works.
and that's the big counter DC's been going, but he doesn't do that.
Because as you know from if you had read the comic book, and again, if you watched a little bit of the movie, he doesn't.
We really should cover Watchmen.
He doesn't tell you what his plan is, and he doesn't show you what it is until it's already been after it's already been executed. So you don't see, feel, or know about the repercussions until it's already happened, and you can't change it. So him locking these people up, I mean,
Like I said, that's been one of the counter arguments.
why not just let them die? Like that's the.
Because he's got Doomsday as well. Is in there.
So no, he was serious when he said Doomsday.
No, the Doomsday was a real thing.
Okay.
He's
Darkseid and Trigon, we don't know.
They're jokes.
Okay.
Doomsday, Mxyzptlk, and Tim Drake, and we're not 100% sure, but there was a comic where Tim Drake is looking down a hallway and there's a blinding blue light.
Also, are we of the opinion that one of these things is not like the others? I've got Mxyzptlk, I have Doomsday, and I have Red Robin. One of these things is not like the others.
If I give you the actual answer, you're gonna yell at me.
Because he needed a hacker.
No, if I give you the actual answer, you're gonna yell at me.
He's immortal. What?
No. One of the things that is
Wait. Make the promise that you're not gonna yell and you're not gonna hit him. Make the promise.
I promise.
One of the things that was said by Wally West, one of your favorite characters, and I think your favorite Flash, if I remember right, Eladrius. One thing said by Wally as he's coming back into the universe during Rebirth is someone came through and messed with things to weaken us, weakening bonds and relationships. Yeah,
we're looking at him confused. How does that do with Tim Drake?
Because Tim and Stephanie were getting back together. They were not together in New 52. They were getting back together, and he was also not.
Go back and read the ending of the comic book. He says that your life had a lot of power to bring people together and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and so he
wasn't that close with Bruce, and he wasn't that close with Stephanie and a few others. He pulled him from the field because it's the same thing with in pre-New 52. Green Arrow and Black Canary, or in New 52, Green Arrow and Black Canary had never met. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the things that was referenced. Now they're getting back together. Someone is going through and fixing this, and whoever this Mr. Oz character is trying to keep it from being fixed.
Okay, so it's not Tim didn't do anything. It's simple fact someone's been fucking with stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fact that because whoever is putting things back to rights, like bringing back Wally West and all of this, is maneuvering people to get back together, like Tim bringing the Bat family closer together. So this Mr. Oz is yanking him out to continue to keep them separated.
Keep you off to fail.
Because again, honestly, it's been like, was Ozymandias really the bad guy?
In Watchmen, I don't think so. I completely sign off on his plan 100%, and if that makes me a monster, so be it. People don't know how to act right. You know what'll make them act right? A big blue power guy. Learn to act right. What? You don't agree?
Eladrius is shaking his head very disconcertingly.
I mean, I'm okay with Ozymandias. I mean, more power to my gay brother. At the same time, it's like I was a little pissed that the cat died.
I love how that's.
And I was really mad that he let it die, and I'm really pissed at Manhattan for killing it.
Well, maybe it's now super.
Okay, so you're not even worried about him just killing all these people. It's more.
No.
He killed my cat.
Again, you can kill all the people you want. Hurt a dog or a cat or an animal. You're a fucking monster.
Can you tell he's a druid player in any tabletop we play?
Oh shit.
Okay.
No. What I want to now that you say that, what I want to see is Manhattan Cat.
Oh my god. I've got to show you Thug Notes.
Thug Notes.
No. At one point, he goes, like the power of the Green Lantern, and they show Hal Jordan. He goes, not that one, and then they show John Stewart. He goes, my man.
Oh my lord.
I love that bit about great power.
Let's get our final thoughts so we can wrap this up.
All right. Well, something I'm going to start adding to this because I can't believe I didn't think about it is during our final thoughts wrap up, I want each of your final thoughts, but I want to see if we weren't doing this podcast. We'll probably come back around to do the next volume, but if we weren't doing this podcast, was there enough to continue reading? If so, why not? We'll start with you, Master of Time and Space.
It was at first until we got introduced to that Oz thing, because that to me, that just seems like we're gonna be here for a very, very, very long time. A lot of like I've been through some comics before, and I know how long the stuff can go on, and it seems like including that into it is gonna make it just okay. I don't care. I would have loved to see this go on by itself as just the Batman, because contrary to a lot of popular belief, I actually like the idea of Batman Incorporated, but it got canceled because of the New 52.
Grant Morrison.
But it got canceled for the New 52. So this is my Batman Incorporated light. So I like it, and I also like that we humanize Batman to the point to where, like, hey, he can't beat an army. He can beat some people, but he cannot beat an army, and he needs help. And also that fact that this is a Batman comic, but he was barely in it. But when he was in it, he actually kind of mattered. Instead of making him the sole purpose of it, everything else was more important.
Also, Batwing comes in the next volume.
I'm down for that.
Fan.
I am down for some Iron Man Batman. Yes.
And he's black.
I wasn't going to mention it because, don't want to seem like I'm rooting for him because he's black, but he's also a black brother. So I think he's British too.
Righteous brother.
Isn't he British too, I think?
No, he's the son of... I don't think Lucius is British. He's Lucius' son.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's a legacy. That's Morgan Freeman's baby boy.
Oh, yeah. Aladdin's, what are your final thoughts?
I don't think that it was like the worst of the worst, but it wasn't something that drew me in heavily. If we weren't doing the podcast, it's something that, okay, I'm also a little biased. I should preface that. I don't like any of the big three. I don't like Wonder Woman. I don't like Superman. I don't like Batman. They bore me. They've been done a lot, and they're nowhere near getting done. They're not going to wire them down. They're not going to give us more people to fill those roles. It's going to be same damn characters, just rebooted over and over and over and over again. Don't really care about those three. There wasn't enough to convince me to keep reading. Like, it was I might be convinced to pick up a Batwoman solo issue,
which is on order, but
and see that through. Because, like I said, some of that wasn't really a big pull-in for me, and the idea of the 50,000 vigilantes that make up Batman Incorporated is not something that gets me all happy and giddy. It's kind of like the super family: Krypton, Superman, Superboy.
What was the Kryptonian monkey's name? He had like a Kryptonian monkey and a horse.
Look, no, Bat Cow. Bat Cow.
But Bat Cow's just a cow.
I don't give a fuck.
But it's a cow with a cowl.
No,
it's a bat.
No cow. The spots on its face is shaped like a bat.
That's literally it.
I'm serious.
He pardoned it from going to Mickey D's and being made into a burger.
No, he didn't even pardon it. Damien was like, I want a pet cow. And Bruce was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he goes, I want this pet cow. We saved it and I want it. And like a dad of a spoiled kid, he was like, fine, shut up and take the cow.
Until it shits in the living room.
And then Alfred has to clean it up.
Some bullshit.
Manservant, come here. It's like, young Master Damien, I am not above smacking the shit out of you. Don't try me.
Super Sons Alfred is the best.
My favorite line in that entire run that we just got done talking about was when he's in the Batmobile, he's talking to Alfred, and Alfred's giving him all the snark, and then he says that he just can't commit that level. He's got to make sure that she is what he thinks she is. And then Alfred goes, sir, one day you will hear the things that come out of your mouth and realize. And then he's all like, hold on, Alfred.
I'm being attacked. Don't lecture me yet.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up because you brought it up real quick, the Alfred sassiness. Mm-hmm. In the Tom King run, which we may or may not do, that's up to you guys, there's a moment where Bruce cannot make it to defend the city in time. So he's like, Alfred, I'm in the middle of something, so I need you to do this thing for me. He goes, okay. And so you see Alfred put on the cloak and he just starts going, oh yes, I'd love to come work for your family, Mr. Wayne. That sounds great. And he's in the bat costume, he gets in the car. Oh sure, I'll help raise young Master Wayne. I love him. Oh no, of course I'll be his guardian because it's not like anything will ever happen to you. And he's doing this as he's driving.
He's like, but he's like, of course I'll be his legal guardian. Nothing will ever happen to you, correct? And then you had to die. And then
he goes further. He goes, not only did you have to die, but of course, okay, well now I've got to raise him. Well, he's a rich kid. That just means balls and parties, and I'll find him a nice wife. And thanks. And Ralphie just goes on this entire rant as all this is going on.
Oh, I need to read that. That sounds the best.
But I would read a solo run for Alfred. I really would.
Pennyworth.
Who wouldn't read Pennyworth? I'll put money on that right now, DC.
I will put pennies.
And all it is.
How many pennies is it worth?
Oh God.
And all it is just Alfred doing maintenance while all shit's going out in the background, and he's like, Master Wayne's doing that. Well, it's like, it's just him doing his basic shit while all that shit's going inside. I actually would read that. It's weird, but I would read it.
I would love it. I would love a day in the life of Alfred.
Oh, man.
I really would.
I would pay good money for that comic. But I'm
Your final thoughts?
I'm obviously a Batman fan. Now, I think we can all admit that I am not the kind of Batman fan that if it's bad, I will buy it, because we know I stopped. The only reason I even have the run of Batman by Tom King is because my wife bought it as a present. So I don't think I'm so fanboy that if it's got Batman on the cover, I'm gonna buy it. I liked it, and obviously because I read in the future issues, but I can definitely see the criticisms here. I think some of it's fixed in volume 2, but I wouldn't say all of it. But I would still recommend it to our audience. As far as that goes, guys, I think we've pretty much wrapped up this issue. I want to point out that we're running all, as far as DC goes, we're running off of basically my collection at this point. And because of some monetary issues, we may start hitting some Batman heavy content, because that. If you guys want to contribute, hit us up on YouTube and stuff. We've got a wish list of comics that we have that we'd like to cover.
Where should they hit us up at?
YouTube, always comments. We love the email address at crippletalkscomics.com. If you're interested, email us a comment on YouTube, or does iTunes have a thing? I don't really.
I don't really go.
I don't really iTunes. Look, if you want to get a hold of us, use the email, use the YouTube comments, get a hold of us, and we can hook you up with how to sort of. We've got a whole wish list of comics, or if there's something you guys know about that you want us to cover, let us know about it, and if we can't afford it, we'll let you know, and maybe we can work something out. But thanks so much, guys, and we'll catch you next time at the Center of the Multiverse.
This is your master of time and space, thanking you for listening to the Cripple Talks Comics podcast. If you have any suggestions or questions for us, go ahead and send us an email at crippletalkscomics@gmail.com. That's crippletalkscomics@gmail.com. You can listen to this and all other archive podcasts at iTunes, Stitcher, and the Cripple Talks Comics YouTube page. That's iTunes, Stitcher, and the Cripple Talks Comics YouTube page.